Мы часто говорим о великих страстях, о пламенных началах, о захватывающих дух встречах. Но жизнь, истинная жизнь, разворачивается в тонких течениях, в шепчущих истинах, что пронизывают наши дни. И иногда, если мы прислушаемся внимательно, если мы по-настоящему увидим, мы замечаем сдвиг. Тихое изменение прилива. Возможно, вы чувствовали это или видели в глазах женщины, которую когда-то знали так хорошо. Та яркая искра, то сияющее свечение, что некогда танцевало в ее взгляде, оно начинает тускнеть. Не с мягкой мудростью возраста, но с другим видом тишины. Тонкое приглушение. Это не всегда рождается из конфликта. Не внезапная буря, а скорее медленное, почти незаметное отступление. Смех, когда-то спонтанная мелодия, может стать немного более сдержанным. Игривый блеск в ее глазах немного реже. Она все еще там, конечно, физически присутствует, но часть ее, существенный поток, кажется, отступила внутрь. Цветок закрывается, лепесток за лепестком, не от холода, а от более глубокой невысказанной потребности. Она не уходит, не так, как мы обычно это понимаем. Она просто перестает стараться, перестает протягивать руку с той же бесстрашной уязвимостью, перестает вкладывать ту безграничную созидательную энергию, что когда-то так свободно текла в общее пространство между вами. И в этой тишине, этом мягком отступлении, возникает вопрос, тихое эхо в сердце. Почему? Что заставляет такой нежный, открытый дух начинать сворачиваться в себя? Что побуждает реку ее щедрой энергии искать более глубокие, невидимые каналы, вместо того, чтобы течь наружу, к свету? Возможно, мы в нашем повседневном ритме забыли по-настоящему видеть ее, стать свидетелями изысканного танца ее уникальной жизненной силы. Когда женщина дышит глубоко, жизнь дышит вместе с ней. И когда ее дыхание, ее дух чувствуют себя неслыханным, невидимым, нелюбимым, этот жизненно важный поток может начать сужаться. Дело не в вине, дело в тонкой экологии связи. Ее попытки становятся тише. Это не признак равнодушия. Это глубокое сообщение, шепот ее души, эхом отдающийся в тишине. Он говорит о глубоком внутреннем мире, священном саду внутри нее, который, возможно, чувствует себя заброшенным, неполитым, непризнанным. И потому он стремится защитить себя, сохранить свою драгоценную сущность. Думайте об этом не как об отсутствии любви, а как об обращении внутрь для поддержания, для обновления, для того самого внимания, которое поддерживает ее внутреннее пламя живым. Желание — это язык, на котором говорит душа. И когда голос души заглушен, или ее проявления встречают отвлечение, или даже тонкое отворачивание, она находит другие способы общения. Иногда она общается через тишину, через мягкий отказ предлагать то, что больше не чувствуется принятым. Это не моральный провал, это мудрость ее существа. Ее энергия не просто источник страсти для другого, это ее самая сущность, ее связь с творческим пульсом Вселенной. Когда энергия блокируется, мы теряем не секс, мы теряем жизненную силу. Мы теряем то яркое жужжание, которое делает жизнь богатой и значимой. И для нее, когда ее собственная сияющая энергия чувствует себя невидимой, неслыханной, невстреченной, она естественно отступает, она становится защищенной. Мы, мужчины, иногда забываем глубокое влияние нашего взгляда, нашего внимания, нашего чуда.
Мужчина не теряет силу, когда стареет. Он теряет ее, когда перестает смотреть с удивлением. И когда мы перестаем смотреть на нее с тем благоговейным любопытством, той свежей оценкой тайны, которую она воплощает, что-то меняется внутри нее. Ее готовность раскрываться, проявляться, предлагать свою глубочайшую сущность начинает угасать. Это тонкий танец. Ее энергия стремится расширяться, быть увиденной, быть лелеемой. Когда она встречает пространство, которое кажется неотзывчивым или, возможно, слишком требовательным, не предлагая эквивалентного питания, она инстинктивно отступает. Это естественный механизм самосохранения, глубокая мудрость, направляющая ее дух. Это тихое отступление, это зов. Не требование, а приглашение. Приглашение воссоединиться с более глубокими потоками, которые текут между мужчиной и женщиной, не просто страсть, но сама жизнь. Оно просит нас смотреть за поверхность, за рутину и по-настоящему спросить, что на самом деле живо в ней, что волнует ее дух, что ищет выражения, признания, нежного прикосновения, понимания. Ее прекращение попыток – это не акт капитуляции, а акт глубокой заботы о себе. Она не отказывается от отношений, она, возможно, заново открывает себя в них или пытается найти пространство, где ее энергия может снова течь аутентично. Это тихая мольба о более глубоком вовлечении, о совместном осознании священных потоков, которые определяют человеческую связь. Чтобы понять этот момент, мы должны остановиться. Мы должны слушать не только ушами, но всем своим существом. Мы должны чувствовать тонкие сдвиги в воздухе, невысказанные слова, нежные закрытия когда-то открытого сердца. И в этом слушании, в этом глубоком внимании кроется возможность вновь открыть свет. Не силой, а созданием пространства, благоговения, для того, чтобы он расцвел заново. Ибо истина в том, что поток жизни в ней никогда по-настоящему не умирает. Он лишь ждет. Ждет, когда почва будет снова вспахана, когда пойдет нежный дождь присутствия, когда придет тепло искренней, неторопливой признательности. Люби. Чувствуй. Дыши. Энергия внутри тебя никогда не умирала, она ждала, когда ты пробудишься. We speak often of connection, of the dance between two souls. And sometimes we notice a shift, a subtle withdrawal, a quieting of the vibrant current that once flowed so freely. When a woman, in the tender architecture of a relationship, begins to cease her efforts, it is rarely an act of indifference. No, it is almost always a signal, a profound, deeply resonant signal that something within her has been blocked. Imagine, if you will, a river, her inner river of life force, her sensuality, her inspiration, all of it a natural, flowing current. When she stops investing, it is often because this very river finds its path impeded. Its waters grow still, its banks crumble, not from lack of desire to flow, but from an unseen obstruction. Perhaps it is the subtle, cumulative weight of unspoken hurts, a delicate sediment settling year after year, layer upon invisible layer. Each small wound, each unaddressed disappointment, a tiny stone added to a growing dam. They accumulate, not with malice, but with a quiet, persistent gravity, until the natural current struggles to find its way through. These are not grand betrayals necessarily, but often the small, everyday neglects of the heart, the moments when a hand was not held, a word was left unsaid, or a feeling was met with a shrug.
And each one, in its own silent way, contributes to the blockage. Or perhaps it is the profound ache of invisibility, the sense that her deepest essence, her true being, her intuitive knowing, remains unacknowledged, unrecognized. She offers her unique light, her nuanced expressions of love, her quiet strengths, her vulnerabilities, but they seem to pass unnoticed, unmirrored. Her efforts, her attempts to bridge a distance or to infuse joy, are met with a gaze that looks through her rather than truly seeing her. To be unseen is to have a part of oneself denied existence, and that denial can be a powerful obstruction to the flow of life. When we are not truly seen, how can we truly give? When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the very essence of living, breathing, vibrant being. The passion, the creative spark, the gentle warmth of intimacy, these are merely expressions of a deeper life current. And when that current is stifled, everything diminishes. The world itself seems to lose its color, its texture, its very taste. Desire, you see, is the language through which the soul speaks. It's a whisper, sometimes a gentle hum, sometimes a resonant song, guiding us towards connection, towards creation, towards expansion. When that language is silenced, when the soul's song is stifled by these unseen impediments, be they fear or deep bone-weary fatigue, or simply the weight of unexpressed needs, then the flow cannot continue. The river, once vibrant, now struggles to move. She stops striving, not from a lack of care, but because her inner river has begun to recede. It is no longer nourished, no longer flowing freely. It finds itself trapped behind invisible dams, dams built of silent fears, of profound wariness, of words that longed to be spoken, but found no receptive ear, no safe harbor. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. And when that life current within her is obstructed, the very desire to connect, to create, to share, begins to fade. It is a profound slowing, a quiet retreat into herself, not as a punishment, but as a protective mechanism. Her energy, once directed outward, now conserves itself, waiting for the obstructions to be removed, for the riverbed to be cleared, for the sun to shine upon her waters once more. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We often mistake the gentle current of her attention, the quiet warmth of her presence, for something ordinary. We take her efforts, her thoughtful gestures, her willingness to open her heart and her life to us as a given, a quiet expectation, perhaps even an obligation. But consider this deeply. Her initiative, her vulnerability, her very openness, these are not simply actions. They are emanations. They are the visible pulse of something far more profound within her. They are the vital, sensual energy of her very being. This energy, you see, is not merely the fuel for physical desire. No, it is the very current of life itself. It is her creative pulse, her capacity to bring beauty and meaning into the world, into your shared space. It is her instinct to nurture, to inspire, to illuminate. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. And when she extends herself, when she reaches out, when she offers a part of her inner world, she is not just performing a task.
She is sharing a piece of that sacred, vibrant current that flows within her. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. This shared current is woven from more than just moments of intimacy. It is spun from the daily threads of connection, understanding, and mutual reverence. Her willingness to weave these threads, to initiate, to propose, to invite, this is her spirit at play, expressing its inherent richness. It is a profound act of giving, born not from duty, but from an overflowing wellspring of inner life. It is her sacred power, manifesting in the everyday. It is the language through which her soul speaks, translating its boundless capacity for love, for joy, for connection, into tangible forms. Think of it as a river, a powerful, life-giving river flowing with immense strength and grace. This river is her sensuality, her vitality, her innate capacity for creation and connection. When this river flows freely, it nourishes everything in its path. It brings forth lushness, vibrancy, and a profound sense of aliveness. Her efforts, her passion, her engagement, these are the fertile banks of that river, vibrant with growth. They are not merely attempts to please or to be convenient. They are the natural blossoming of her internal landscape, an outward manifestation of her creative fire. But what happens when this river, this precious current of life within her, begins to feel constrained? What happens when its natural flow is met with indifference, or worse, with the expectation that it should flow simply because it always has? When her giving is not seen as a sacred offering, but as a predictable service? When her initiative is unacknowledged, or her openness is met with a closed door? This is where the subtle shift begins. The river does not immediately dry up, no, but it senses a blockage, a quiet resistance. It feels its power unheeded, its generosity unreceived in the profound way it longs for. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. And for her, when that vibrant, giving current feels trapped, unneeded, or most painfully, depleted, she instinctively begins to withdraw. This withdrawal is not a punitive act. It is not a tantrum. It is a deeply intuitive, self-preserving movement. Her soul, sensing a lack of resonance, a disconnect between its outpouring and what it receives in return, begins to pull back, to conserve its precious essence. It is a gentle closing, a quiet turning inward, like a flower protecting its delicate petals from a harsh wind. Her desire, remember, is the language through which the soul speaks. And when that language falls silent, when the longing for connection, for shared vitality, for mutual inspiration ceases to be expressed, this is not a caprice. It is a profound signal. It indicates a deep, aching need for the revival of her own internal fire, her sacred strength. Her inner wisdom is telling her that the external flow has become unsustainable, that the wellspring itself needs replenishment, recognition, and reverence. She is not asking for grand gestures or extravagant praise. She is asking for her essence to be seen, to be felt, to be cherished for the profound gift that it is. She is asking for the recognition that her spirit, when it extends itself, is engaging in an act of sacred sharing. And when that sharing is met with absence or with the casual assumption that it will always be there, limitless and unconditional, the inner reserves begin to wane.
Her capacity to give, which is so deeply intertwined with her capacity to feel alive and vibrant, begins to diminish. This is why, perhaps, she stops trying. Not because she no longer cares, but because the current within her, that very life force, is calling her home. It is calling her to tend to her own sacred garden, to replenish her own wellspring, which has been giving so freely. It is a subtle, yet undeniable shift from outward expression to inward preservation, a seeking of meaning, of purpose, of the profound truth of her own being, independent of external validation. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder. And a woman doesn't lose her sensual vitality with time. She loses it when the sacredness of her inner current is no longer met with the wonder, the reverence, and the deep appreciative understanding it deserves. Her withdrawal, then, is not the end of passion, but often the beginning of a profound quest for its authentic resurgence, a quiet, powerful turning towards herself, to rediscover the boundless source of her own radiant light. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We often speak of her withdrawing, of a silent fading in the vibrancy she once shared. And in our haste to understand, we might search for reasons, for faults, for something broken that needs fixing. But what if we paused? What if we understood this quiet turning inward not as a problem to be solved, but as a sacred message? It is a call, perhaps, to shift our gaze, to see her not as someone who has stopped giving, but as a precious, living spring that needs tending. Her energy, her very essence, is a source that yearns for care, for understanding, for respect. It is never truly lost. It merely recedes when the environment no longer sustains its natural flow. And here, beloved listener, lies the profound invitation for the man. His path to her reawakening is not paved with accusations, nor with frantic attempts to rekindle something forced. No, it is a journey back to awareness. It is about creating a space, a gentle, hallowed space, where she can once again breathe fully, where she feels not just safe, but utterly secure in her being, where she can simply be herself, without judgment, without expectation. Think for a moment, what does it mean to truly create such a space? It means to be entirely present, to listen, not merely with your ears, but with the quiet resonance of your heart, to see beyond the surface, beyond the daily roles, into the deep, luminous currents of her soul. It is to offer the silent permission for her spirit to unfurl, like a delicate bloom reaching for the sun after a long winter. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Can you feel the truth in that? Her breath, her rhythm, her very essence is a microcosm of the universe's own pulse. When she holds back, when her breath is shallow, it is the world within her that contracts. And when she is truly free to inhale the fullness of life, to exhale all that no longer serves, she becomes a conduit for creation, for healing, for an energy that nourishes everything around her. This is why we must reconsider desire itself. Often we reduce it to a simple physical craving, a fleeting impulse of the body. But I invite you to see it differently. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks.
It is the yearning for connection, for deep recognition, for the sacred merging of two individual universes. When this language is silenced, when its gentle whispers are ignored, the soul begins to retreat, to conserve its precious light. And what of attraction? That primal pull, that undeniable recognition between two beings. Some have taught us to fear it, to label it as base or even sinful. But I tell you, attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It is the echoes of cosmic energy recognizing its counterpart, yearning to harmonize, to complete a forgotten melody. It is the sacred dance of polarity, an affirmation of life's boundless creativity. To truly invite her back, to witness her return to vibrancy, is to see her anew, not just as a partner, a lover, a mother, a friend, but as a sacred manifestation of the very life force itself, a living, breathing expression of divine energy, deserving of reverence, of wonder, of profound respect. When we approach her with this understanding, with this deep reverence, we invite her to open again, not from any sense of obligation, but from a profound inner desire to share her light, her beauty, her boundless energy. This is the quiet call to awakening. It asks us to look, to listen, to feel, with a depth we may have forgotten. Love. Feel. Breathe.
The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. And so we arrive at a threshold, don't we? A quiet space where the whispers of unspoken truths begin to surface. We spoke of a turning away, a withdrawal of her vibrant spirit. But this stillness, my friends, is not an absence. It is often a deep listening, a preparation. Her energy, you see, has never truly departed. It has merely retreated, like a deep river finding new hidden channels beneath the surface, waiting for the world above to become safe again. When we begin to truly see her, not with the searching eyes of expectation, but with the tender gaze of pure presence, when we truly hear her, not just the words she speaks, but the silent language of her soul, the subtle shifts in her breath, the unspoken longings that resonate within her very being, that is when the first delicate rays of dawn begin to touch her inner landscape. It is not an act of fixing, but an act of sacred witnessing. This profound seeing and hearing creates a space, a sanctuary, a quiet harbor where the winds of judgment cannot reach, where the demands of the outer world fade into a gentle hum. In this space of deep acceptance, she is invited, not compelled, to simply be, to shed the armor she has worn, perhaps for far too long, to unfurl the petals of her heart, one by one, at her own sacred pace. This acceptance is not passive. It is an active, loving presence that holds her, without grasping. It is the understanding that her inner wildness, her untamed beauty, is not something to be contained or controlled, but to be revered and honored. And in this gentle, unwavering light, her inner radiance, which has been merely dormant, begins to stir. It is not a sudden, explosive burst, no. It is far more subtle, more profound. It is a quiet turning, a subtle shift, like the earth itself slowly waking after a long winter. You might observe a softening in her eyes, a deeper, more resonant quality in her voice, perhaps a greater ease in her movements, a blossoming of her natural grace. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her.
Her entire being becomes a conduit for the universal current, a testament to the power of unblocked flow. Her energy, the very essence of her vitality, was never lost. It was simply waiting, waiting for the sincere invitation, extended with reverence and respect, waiting for the knowing glance that says, "I see you, all of you, and you are magnificent." This invitation is not a demand for her passion, but a silent prayer for her wholeness. It is the deep respect for her sovereign self, for the rhythms of her own awakening, for the wisdom of her own body. For too long, perhaps, we have all, men and women alike, carried a hidden fear of our own profound power. The raw, potent current that courses through us, the life-giving force that is both sexual and spiritual, has often been misunderstood, even demonized. We have been taught to contain it, to deny it, to be ashamed of its very existence. But when energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the vibrant hum of existence, the creative pulse that inspires art, innovation, and genuine connection. We lose the very current of life itself. But when we cease to fear our own power, when we embrace the wild, untamed essence of our being, and when we create the space for another to do the same, that is when the currents of life begin to flow unimpeded. This is the moment when the dance can begin anew. Not a performance, but an authentic, spontaneous expression of two souls moving in harmony. This isn't merely about the return of physical desire, though that is a beautiful and natural consequence. Oh no. This is about something far deeper, far more transformative. This is the return to the living dance itself, the dance of creativity, where ideas flow effortlessly, where inspiration becomes a constant companion, the dance of deep healing, where old wounds find solace in the shared vulnerability and tender touch, the dance of an unshakable connection that transcends the temporal, a bond that is forged in the crucible of mutual reverence and profound understanding. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself, a current that can sculpt worlds, heal old wounds, and weave a tapestry of shared purpose that nourishes both partners. Desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing, yearning for reunion, for wholeness, for the divine spark to be recognized and celebrated. Attraction is not sin, it's the universe remembering itself, a deep recognition of two souls mirroring the sacred. And a man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he stops holding space for the sacred to emerge, when he forgets the profound art of seeing. This awakened flow brings into the relationship not only a rediscovered passion, vibrant and alive, but also a deep healing that permeates every facet of shared life. It brings a wellspring of creativity where inspiration flows freely, transforming the mundane into the miraculous. And it forges an unshakable connection, a bond that is resilient, true, and profoundly nourishing for both the man and the woman. It is a symphony of two souls playing their unique melodies, harmonizing in the grand composition of life. Love. Feel. Breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken.